Let's dive into our comprehensive review. Question 1. If g of x equals x squared, describe the transformation of the graph when it is shifted 4 units to the right and 2 units up. To describe the transformation of the graph of the function g of x equals x squared when it is shifted 4 units to the right and 2 units up, we start by applying the transformations step by step. First, shifting 4 units to the right. This transformation affects the x-coordinate of the function. To shift the graph of g of x equals x squared to the right by 4 units, we replace x with x minus 4. Therefore, the new function becomes g of x equals x minus 4 squared. Next, shifting 2 units up, this transformation affects the y-coordinate of the function. To shift the graph up by 2 units, we add 2 to the entire function. Thus, the new function after this transformation is g of x equals x minus 4 squared plus 2. In summary, the transformation of the graph of g of x equals x squared when shifted 4 units to the right and 2 units up results in the new function g of x equals x minus 4 squared plus 2. The vertex of the original parabola at 0, 0 moves to the new vertex at 4, 2. The shape of the graph remains the same, but its position changes accordingly. Question 2. For the function h of x equals negative 3 times the absolute value of x, identify the transformations applied to the parent function absolute value of x. The function h of x equals negative 3 times the absolute value of x represents a transformation of the parent function, absolute value of x. The transformations applied are as follows. Step 1, vertical stretch. The coefficient negative 3 indicates a vertical stretch by a factor of 3. This means that the output values of the function are multiplied by 3, making the graph steeper compared to the parent function. Step 2, reflection. The negative sign in front of the 3 indicates a reflection across the x-axis. This means that all the y values of the function are inverted, resulting in the graph being flipped upside down compared to the parent function. In summary, the transformations applied to the parent function absolute value of x to obtain h of x equals negative 3 times the absolute value of x are a vertical stretch by a factor of 3 and a reflection across the x-axis. Question 3. Consider the function p of x equals the quantity x minus 1 squared plus 5. What are the transformations from the parent function y equals x squared? The function p of x equals the quantity x minus 1 squared plus 5 represents a transformation of the parent function y equals x squared. To analyze the transformations, we can break it down as follows. 1. Horizontal shift. The term x minus 1 indicates a horizontal shift to the right by 1 unit. This means that the vertex of the parabola moves from 0, 0 to 1, 0. 2. Vertical shift. The plus 5 indicates a vertical shift upwards by 5 units. Therefore, the vertex of the parabola is now at the point 1, 5. In summary, the transformations from the parent function y equals x squared to the function p of x equals the quantity x minus 1 squared plus 5 are shift right by 1 unit and shift up by 5 units. The resulting vertex of the transformed function is at the point 1, 5. Question 4. Describe the effect on the graph of the function r of x equals negative 2 sine of x when compared to the parent function y equals sine of x. The function r of x equals negative 2 sine of x is a transformation of the parent function y equals sine of x. The effect on the graph can be described as follows. First, there's a vertical stretch. The coefficient of negative 2 indicates a vertical stretch by a factor of 2. This means that the amplitude of the sine wave is increased from 1, the amplitude of y equals sine of x to 2, so the peaks and troughs of the graph will reach 2 and negative 2 respectively. Next we have a reflection. The negative sign in front of the 2 indicates a reflection across the x-axis. This means that all the values of the sine function are inverted. Where the parent function y equals sine of x has positive values, r of x equals negative 2 sine of x will have corresponding negative values, and vice versa. Finally, let's talk about the period and phase shift. The period of the sine function remains unchanged. The period of both y equals sine of x and r of x equals negative 2 sine of x is 2pi. and there is no phase shift in this transformation. In summary, the graph of r of x equals -2 sine of x will have an amplitude of 2, will be reflected across the x-axis, and will maintain the same period as the parent function y equals sine of x. This results in a sine wave that oscillates between -2 and 0, rather than between -1 and 1. Chapter 2. Polynomials and Polynomial Equations and Functions. Question 1. Solve the polynomial equation, 2x cubed minus 3x squared plus 4x minus 5 equals 0. To solve the polynomial equation, 2x cubed minus 3x squared plus 4x minus 5 equals 0, we can use numerical methods or graphing techniques, as finding the roots analytically can be quite complex. One approach is to use the rational root theorem to test possible rational roots. After testing various values, we find that x equals 1 is a root. We can then perform synthetic division to factor the polynomial. First, divide 2x cubed minus 3x squared plus 4x minus 5 by x minus 1. The result is 2x squared minus x plus 5. Now we need to solve the quadratic equation 2x squared minus x plus 5 equals 0 using the quadratic formula. The formula is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, all divided by 2a. Here a is 2, b is negative 1, and c is 5. The discriminant, which is b squared minus 4ac, equals negative 1 squared minus 4 times 2 times 5, which simplifies to 1 minus 40, giving us negative 39. Since the discriminant is negative, the quadratic has no real roots, but 2 complex roots. So, x equals 1 plus or minus the square root of negative 39, all divided by 4. This simplifies to x equals 1 plus or minus I times the square root of 39, all divided by 4. Thus, the solutions to the original polynomial equation are x equals 1, which is a real root, and x equals 1 plus I times the square root of 39, divided by 4, and x equals 1 minus I times the square root of 39, divided by 4, which are the complex roots. Question 2. Factor the polynomial x to the 4th minus 5x squared plus 4. To factor the polynomial x to the power of 4 minus 5x squared plus 4, we can start by making a substitution. Let y equal x squared. Then the polynomial becomes y squared minus 5y plus 4. Next, we need to factor this quadratic expression. We look for two numbers that multiply to 4, the constant term, and add up to negative 5, the coefficient of y. The numbers negative 4 and negative 1 satisfy these conditions. Therefore, we can factor the quadratic as y squared minus 5y plus 4 equals y minus 4 times y minus 1. Now, substituting back y equals x squared, we have x squared minus 4 times x squared minus 1. Both of these factors can be further factored using the difference of squares. X squared minus 4 equals x minus 2 times x plus 2, and x squared minus 1 equals x minus 1 times x plus 1. Thus, the complete factorization of the original polynomial is x to the power of 4 minus 5x squared plus 4 equals x minus 2 times x plus 2 times x minus 1 times x plus 1. Question 3. Determine the roots of the polynomial function f of x equals x cubed minus 6x squared plus 11x minus 6. To determine the roots of the polynomial function f of x equals x cubed minus 6x squared plus 11x minus 6, we can use the rational root theorem and synthetic division or factorization. Step 1. Finding possible rational roots. The possible rational roots are the factors of the constant term, negative 6, divided by the factors of the leading coefficient, 1. The factors of negative 6 are plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 3, plus or minus 6. Step 2. Testing possible roots. We can test these values in the polynomial. F of 1 equals 1 cubed minus 6 times 1 squared plus 11 times 1 minus 6, which equals 0. So 1 is a root. F of 2 equals 2 cubed minus 6 times 2 squared plus 11 times 2 minus 6, which equals 0, so 2 is a root. F of 3 equals 3 cubed minus 6 times 3 squared plus 11 times 3 minus 6, which equals 0, so 3 is a root. Step 3. Factoring the polynomial. Since we found that x equals 1, x equals 2, and x equals 3 are roots, we can factor the polynomial as f of x equals x minus 1 times x minus 2 times x minus 3. Step 4, conclusion. The roots of the polynomial function f of x equals x cubed minus 6x squared plus 11x minus 6 are x equals 1, x equals 2, and x equals 3. Question 4. Find the maximum and minimum values of the polynomial function g of x equals negative x squared plus 4x plus 1. To find the maximum and minimum values of the polynomial function g of x equals negative x squared plus 4x plus 1, we can follow these steps. Step 1. Identify the type of polynomial. The function is a quadratic polynomial, which can be expressed in the standard form g of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c, where a equals negative 1, b equals 4, and c equals 1. Step 2. Determine the vertex. The vertex of a quadratic function given by g of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c can be found using the formula x equals negative b over 2a. In this case, a equals negative 1, b equals 4, so x equals negative 4 over 2 times negative 1, which simplifies to 2. Step 3, calculate g of 2. Now substitute x equals 2 back into the function to find the maximum value, so g of 2 equals negative 2, squared plus 4 times 2 plus 1, this equals negative 4 plus 8 plus 1, which is 5. Step 4, determine the nature of the vertex. Since the coefficient of x squared, a equals negative 1 is negative, the parabola opens downwards, indicating that the vertex represents a maximum point. Step 5, find the minimum value. As the parabola opens downwards, there is no minimum value. The function approaches negative infinity as x moves away from the vertex. Conclusion. The maximum value of the function g of x equals negative x squared plus 4x plus 1 is 5, occurring at x equals 2. There is no minimum value. Chapter 3. Radical, absolute value and rational equations and inequalities. Question 1. Solve the radical equation. The square root of 2x plus 3 equals 5. What is the value of x? To solve the radical equation, the square root of 2x plus 3 equals 5, we will first square both sides to eliminate the square root. This gives us 2x plus 3 equals 5 squared, 2x plus 3 equals 25. Next, we will subtract 3 from both sides, 2x equals 25 minus 3. 2x equals 22. Now we will divide both sides by 2 to solve for x equals 22 divided by 2, x equals 11. Thus the value of x is 11. To verify, we can substitute x equals 11 back into the original equation. The square root of 2 times 11 plus 3 equals the square root of 22 plus 3 equals the square root of 25 equals 5. Since both sides are equal, our solution is confirmed. Therefore the value of x is 11. Question 2. Determine the absolute value solution for the equation. The absolute value of 3x minus 7 equals 11. What are the possible values of x? To solve the equation, the absolute value of 3x minus 7 equals 11, we need to consider the two cases that arise from the definition of absolute value. Case 1, 3x minus 7 equals 11. Adding 7 to both sides gives us 3x equals 18. Dividing by 3 results in x equals 6. Case 2, 3x minus 7 equals negative 11. Adding 7 to both sides gives us 3x equals negative 4. Dividing by 3 results in x equals negative 4/3. Thus the possible values of x are 6 and negative 4/3. Question 3. Solve the rational equation. The fraction of x plus 2 over x minus 3 equals 4. What is the value of x? To solve the rational equation, the fraction of x plus 2 over x minus 3 equals 4, we start by eliminating the fraction. We can do this by multiplying both sides of the equation by x minus 3, assuming x is not equal to 3 to avoid division by 0, so we have x plus 2 equals 4 times the quantity of x minus 3. Next, we distribute the 4 on the right side, x plus 2 equals 4x minus 12. Now we will isolate x by moving all terms involving x to one side and constant terms to the other side. X minus 4x equals negative 12 minus 2. This simplifies to negative 3x equals negative 14. Now, divide both sides by negative 3. X equals the fraction of 14 over 3. Thus, the solution to the equation is x equals the fraction of 14 over 3. Question 4. Solve the rational inequality. The fraction of x minus 1 over x plus 2 is greater than 0. What are the intervals where the inequality holds true? To solve the rational inequality, the fraction of x minus 1 over x plus 2 is greater than 0, we need to determine where the expression is positive. This involves finding the critical points where the numerator and denominator are 0. Step 1. Find the critical points. The numerator x minus 1 equals 0 gives us x equals 1. The denominator x plus 2 equals 0 gives us x equals negative 2. Step 2. Determine the intervals. The critical points divide the number line into the following intervals: negative infinity to negative 2, negative 2 to 1, and 1 to infinity. Step 3. Test each interval. For negative infinity to negative 2, choose x equals negative 3. The fraction of negative 3 minus 1 over negative 3 plus 2 equals the fraction of negative 4 over negative 1, which is 4 and greater than 0. This is true. For negative 2 to 1, choose x equals 0. The fraction of 0 minus 1 over 0 plus 2 equals the fraction of negative 1 over 2, which is less than 0. This is false. For 1 to infinity, choose x equals 2. The fraction of 2 minus 1 over 2 plus 4 equals the fraction of 1 over 4, which is greater than 0. This is true. Step 4. Combine the results. The inequality holds true in the intervals negative infinity to negative 2 and 1 to infinity. Step 5. Conclusion. The solution to the inequality, the fraction of x minus 1 over x plus 2 is greater than 0, is negative infinity to negative 2 union 1 to infinity.